presents a community conversation on public health preparedness program hosted by Reverend Daniel H. Lindor. Open discussions and insights on heat warnings and other public health emergencies. Philadelphia Immunization Program, preparing your home for every season. Personal preparedness to stay healthy. Engaging faith-based and community organizations to consider planning for emergencies. This and more is going down and will be discussed live on Island Vibe Philly Caribbean Station, www.islandvibe.net, every Monday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Good evening, our brothers and sisters within Philadelphia, Greater Philadelphia, and all Philadelphians. Welcome to our special talk show that is dedicated on discussing variety of issues that surround and affect our community. And so we come to you every Mondays between these hours, 7 to 8. And we talk on issues like vaccination, and we are talking about health hazards. We are talking about health hazard preparedness mainly. So tonight is another night that we'll be discussing our community and how we can stay healthy, how we can continue to maintain our health as well. I'm joined tonight by our program officer, and we are from Rising Hope for Change. Our office is located at 1628 South 58th Street in Philadelphia, PA 19143. And we also have our office in Derby, 3 Chester Pike, PA 19023. And so you can contact us at info, I-N-F-O, at rhfc.info. If you need any information, you want to inquiry, or you can visit our office. And tonight we will be talking about all these topics we've discussed in the past, and we want to bring on board additional information, discussion that Ms. Kebe and I will be talking. Ms. Kebe is the program officer at Rising Hope for Change, and we want to acknowledge the support from Island Vibe Philly Caribbean Station, who provided a platform to air this information live. And we also want to thank the Philadelphia Department of Public Health for providing the funding to support this program. Thank you, and I will, my name is Daniel Lende, Pastor Daniel Lende. You can always, you are welcome at all time to reach out to us for information. Let me allow Ms. Kebe to make a quick introduction before we dive into what we're discussing today.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How everyone doing? I hope we are all doing great. So we are here tonight again. If you've been following this show, we're here every Monday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you've been following, we'll be having discussions about health hazards, preparedness, the vaccines, like Pastor Daniel just stated. So tonight we're going to be talking about just touching a little bit of everything here and there. We're going to be talking about the COVID, the flu, RSV, how to stay safe during severe weather, especially during this winter. We know that we've had a couple of snowstorms recently. Hopefully we're done for the winter, but we still have to know how to be prepared at all times and how to stay healthy during these weathers, especially the flu season, what to do to stay healthy, how to eat healthy, and take your vitamins and all of that. So I hope tonight our conversation will be very meaningful to all of us, and I hope we can have a good time here.
That's right. Thank you, Ms. Kebe, for providing that information. And as we said, tonight we are looking to dive deeper into the importance of vaccinations. And as she said, this is something that everyone already know when we talk about vaccination. You already know the information, but we just come to partner with you tonight to encourage you to talk to you to see how best you and your household will continue to remain healthy, and also some of the people in your household that have not really received their vaccination one way or the other, uh, encouraging them to take note of that. But also tonight, as we move forward into this conversation, we look at some other issues that affect our health, and you heard Ms. Kebe talking about winter is almost winding down, so we got officially it should be March 19 will be moving, or winter will be ending, and so we'll be welcoming spring. But yes, still we don't know whether it's going to snow anytime between now and that time. But regardless of what, we need to make sure we continue to prepare ourselves, even as we're looking forward to transitioning into the season of spring. You want to make sure that you can open your mind and prepare mentally, emotionally for that new season as well. So that's very important for you and myself. And so that's why tonight we will be talking about that. And so when we talk about vaccine safety and so forth, we hear a lot going on. So what are some of the concerns, Kevin, that you've heard around, like when you go in the field, talking about this, engaging the community, especially within the immigrant community? What are some of the feedback you're getting from the people when it has to do with vaccines? And we're not just talking about COVID here, we're just talking about vaccines in general, whether it's the flu vaccine, whether it's the RSV vaccine, or maybe other vaccines that are, regular vaccines and so forth. Then adding COVID vaccine on there, what are you hearing from the people in the community telling you about these vaccines?
Well, surprisingly, there are not much people who have vivid information, or who should know exactly what the COVID vaccine is in the world, and how important it is to us. There are still people who, when you talk to them about getting vaccinated or whether they've been vaccinated, they still tell you like, oh no, I can't take the vaccine because it's gonna make me sick. There are still people who say the vaccine don't work. There were some people who had doubts that they're not sure that the vaccine is safe enough. And there are also some people who will tell you, why should I get vaccinated for COVID? COVID is over. When it's clear that COVID is still around. It's not as much as it used to be. It's not as severe as it was during the pandemic, but it's still around. And there are some people who feel that there's no need to get vaccinated for the COVID because the pandemic is over. So, like I said, it's surprising when you hear people talk these things or say these things. But again, we cannot get tired of talking, because it is our role now to try to talk to them, and not solely convincing them, but to help them and give them resources, to direct them where to go, to make their own research and all of that, to be able to know exactly what the vaccine is and what it's about, and to ensure that it is safe to be taken, and they shouldn't be scared or be worried, or like the myth that, oh, if I get vaccinated, I'm going to get sick, because the vaccine does not make you sick. So we just keep talking to them. We distribute these materials that PDPH gives, that give all the information about vaccination, how important it is, how to stay safe, and all of that. And it will also encourage them to do their own research, so that they will not just go, because most of these people, they just go by what other people say too. Like, oh, maybe your friend said, oh, the vaccine, I took the vaccine and I got sick. Then okay, I'm not going to take it because I'm going to get sick. So we just keep encouraging people, like, do your own research to find out what it is. Don't just go by what another person said, because another person might react to the vaccine in a certain way that you will not react to the vaccine in that same way. Everybody's system is different.
All right. So the question that sometimes people ask us, why should I get vaccinated, right? And people ask, what are your thoughts usually around that? Like, why should people really get vaccinated?
So recently I had a conversation with someone, and I was asking, my question was, can you compare the amount of cases we had during the pandemic, the amount of COVID cases, the amount of victims we had during the pandemic? Can you compare the numbers to the numbers that we have now? If you can do the comparison, what would you say? Is it as high as it used to be, or is it as high as it was during the pandemic? And the answer is definitely no. So if no, what do you think the reason is? Oh, the pandemic is over. True, the pandemic is over. But what do you think contributed to the pandemic being over? Do you think it's just because solely we were wearing masks, or we were being isolated? All these things helped, they contributed, but the vaccine too played a very major role, because in as much as being vaccinated does not stop you from getting the virus, it helps to limit the spread, and it also helps to boost your immune, so that just in case you contact the virus, it does not treat you as the way it will treat you if you are not being vaccinated. So the vaccine has definitely helped hugely in being able to combat this COVID-19 spread, and attacking the population in a very huge quantity.
Good. I love the concept of when you point about the immune system. And in fact, the Center for Disease Control, CDC, this is what they said. They said that vaccines teach us, the vaccine teach our immune systems how to effectively fight dangerous diseases. Okay, so when we get vaccination, the vaccine teach our immune system, and we're trying to answer the question of the why. Why should we get vaccinated? Because vaccination teach our immune system how to fight, right, dangerous diseases. And when we get vaccinated, it keeps us healthy. Not only that, but also it keeps us out of hospital as well. Because when you are healthy, you are not going into hospital as, compared to someone who is unhealthy. So the CDC recommend vaccines for a wide variety of reasons, right? And then diseases as well. Some of them are, I know the popular one when we talk about COVID, but we may not even start there. But we look at flu, right? The flu, the chicken pox, right? And that's the common one that, in fact, last year it was an outbreak. 2022, it was an outbreak in Philadelphia. And these are all common diseases that we find around us. And so we may hear ourselves hear or even know that you might have been impacted by this, like meningitis and tetanus viruses, and hepatitis, and all of these diseases combined together. They battle the system, they kill the immune system if you don't have something that will stand to boost up your immune system, right?
Yeah.
So that's very important. I think just to add, I wanted to add a piece on what you provided to understand that, the reason why we all need to get vaccination is because they boost our immune system. They teach our immune system, how to fight dangerous diseases that come to track you down, that will keep you hostage, and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that point. A very valid one.
Yeah, and also in addition to that, when we talk about also why we need to take it, like I think the last time we talked about this, we talked about measles, right?
Yeah.
That's another reason. In fact, earlier this year, it was also something that sparked up in the Philadelphia community. And so it's important that we know why we need to take it, like whooping cough, right? All of these, without vaccination, you are exposed to this, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's why we need to make sure that we can prevent ourselves from those things. Like you stated earlier, some of these doesn't mean that you will not get sick, but it minimizes the effect or the
Mm-hmm.
extent to which it breaks down your system or keeps you hostage, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Vaccinated. Yeah, I see. And another question that probably I wanted to ask, as you go out in the field, talking to people at their business center in the community, and what are some of the concerns people do have as it has to do with the vaccine safety and maybe the process in which the vaccines are prepared?
So some people concerns are still has been and still concerns are the vaccine the vaccine was created so quickly. Um we don't think that it went through the normal process or the standard process. It was created too quickly. How did it come about the vaccine in no time? There were huge vaccine out there, and then I think was it Pfizer or one of the vaccines company that had a problem with the vaccine and they had a recall or something. I'm not too sure.
Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, okay, Johnson and Johnson, and then that always comes up too. Like, oh, we're not sure there's something for it, and there are these myths about um mark of the beast and just all kinds of different stories. So there are different there are of a lot of things that people have to say about the vaccine, that they are not sure about it, they are not sure about the process. They think it was too fast, they think this is a money making thing. They think because at that point people needed a vaccination and everybody needed something to give them hope, so the vaccine came in and people were just gravitating towards it, but for them, they're not sure that it is safe enough for them.
That's right. So, but and on the overall, we wanted to just make sure that we can provide some um information that will help
Mhm.
us, and especially for our immigrant community. Uh, those concerns might be genuine, and so especially taking note that many of our immigrant community members, uh, even though back home vaccines are popular there, but the people think that vaccines were only for children, right? They were
Right.
only for children, not for adults. So it was not that much popular within the adulthood. So coming here to say everyone should take vaccination, it raised a concern, and people would love to find a genuine excuse for that, like why you talk about the concern of the way they were developed. But it's important to understand that vaccines undergo rigorous testing, very, very regular. It's a process. They work it out. It goes through that testing before they are even approved for use by FDA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they ensure that the safety of the vaccines, those who manufacture them, they ensure these vaccines are safe. They ensure their safety. They also ensure their efficiency. So that's the two where I want to really emphasize on their
Mm-hmm.
safety and their efficiency, right? Now, talking about their safety and efficiency, that shows it should give us guarantee on that. And before they 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 take the vaccine into the market, they test the vaccine in different category or stages. They do studies, in animals. They do studies in human being, different color, different cultural group or ethnicities, different location around, and so before they can open the vaccine for public use, right? So
Right.
the benefit of vaccination a far overweight the risks, right, that we're thinking about. The benefit that we get it overweight the risks that you're thinking about, whether it's safe or not, or what will be the side effect on that, because they protect people. The vaccine, I'm talking about vaccination, they protect every person, and the goal for that is to protect you against the disease, so that in return, when people get more vaccinated, what happens also is that it protects the community. And so from getting serious diseases or illnesses, okay? And
Right.
that is the main thing. Mm-hmm.
And then another thing is with the flu vaccine too. Like you just did that, the immigrant community back home is usually we used to the kids or the little ones are the ones who usually get vaccinated. Then with the flu here, where you have to like get vaccinated every day, and not every day, sorry, but every year or so or annually. Then they tell you, oh, have you gotten your flu vaccine yet? And people be like, why should I keep getting the vaccine over and over? That's another concern that is usually raised too. People be like, why should we keep getting vaccinated? I got vaccinated last year. What do I have to get vaccinated against this year?
That's right. And around the early 20th century, right, where diseases were killing people on an average of 2,800 Philadelphians. And we're talking about from 1904. And this information is public. If you look it up to Philadelphia or philly.gov, you'll find the information and get it there. But from 1904, when they developed the first, in fact, when there was a flu pandemic, right? Between 1904 to 1952, an average of 24,930 people cases arose during that period. And then there were a death toll of about 2,750. Imagine when there was no vaccine at the time, right? How much the death toll was, right? And that map could stress from 1904 running down all the way, like bringing it down to around 2014. If you look at the Philadelphia website and you check those numbers, you see how much when vaccine took place and when vaccine became in place. So the death toll significantly dropped from 2,000 plus to 225 per year. So you can see the effect of vaccine. When there was no vaccination, in Philadelphia, people then used to die about 2,750 per year.
Wow.
That's how much these are.
That's a lot.
And then when vaccination was developed for like flu, the death toll dropped down significantly from 2,700 to about 225 per year. So and the numbers kept falling, they kept falling. So the disease case kept reducing because people were vaccinated. And we're talking about Philadelphians, right? Because that's what we're talking about. So you can see what that really contributes to and how much that helps. So meningitis, flu vaccine, you're talking about measles, you're talking about all these diseases, MAP, and so forth. The best way to really get ourselves boosting our immune system to fight against these dangerous diseases is to be able to get a vaccine. Yeah.
Yeah. And also just to add, there are usually new strains of the virus that always comes up. So for the Department of Health and CDC and all of these people to make sure that they are on top of their game before we get caught or before we get to the stage where they have to start doing not prevention anymore, but it until it reaches the stage where it has already attacked us, they try to attack it before. So they come up as the virus and develop new strains, they come up with this new vaccine to be able to attack these new strains so that we do not get affected. That's the reason why every time the new vaccine comes up, we have to take it. Because if the vaccine you took last year was for a different strain of the virus, and now you have a different strain, and you're not vaccinated against that one, it's definitely going to knock you down.
Mm. All right. So now talking about that, what can we do to improve vaccination within our community in the Southwest Philadelphia? What can we really do?
We have to we do have these materials that we give out with all of the information, but that is still not enough. That's the reason why this program right now is so important, because at least we get to talk about it. If there's anything that I know about our people is that if you want to give them a very important information, don't just give them something to read, because they definitely or most likely not going to read it. But if you can have the conversation with a person and make more communicable, like get their point of view, get what they think, know what they're thinking, and then you can be able to give them what your own thought and your own experiences or what
Mm.
you know is true. It's more helpful when you have a conversation with a person and they become more comfortable, they get engaged, it turns to you more or better result than just giving a person, oh look, take this and read it, you know. So in as much as we share this information with them through written communication, it's also good to continue talking, like having a conversation whenever you get the chance to bring up a conversation with people, especially people who you know are most likely to not to are most likely to be the ones who against the vaccination or who do not take vaccination seriously. You bring up this conversation and just try sometimes pick their mind, and then you never know what your thoughts or what information you give that person might be, how helpful it might be to them. That person might just be living in ignorance, but because you have more idea on what it is, if you can sit down and have a solid conversation with a person, it will become more convincing. That person might have a second thought and say, you know what, if this person can say all of these things and this person has actually been fascinated and it has been working well for them, I think I should give this a try. Like I always say, there are certain people who have influence or influences on other people, and you never know how influential you are to other people until you start to talk to them about certain things, and then you see them gravitating towards that thing that it was against from the very beginning, only because of you. So I think there should be more awareness. We should continue to talk about it. We shouldn't get tired. In as much as sometimes people will feel that we keep repeating ourselves, we're talking the same thing, we're saying the same thing. But you might not listen to this podcast today. Another person will. Another
Mm.
person might listen to the next one too. So it's just important that we keep the awareness going and just continue to talk the talk.
Mm. And so while we're approaching the quick break, but we want to wrap up on this because when we come back, we'll be talking about the health hazards preparedness, what we still need to look after and prepare. But we want to wrap this section to say that our babies need to be vaccinated because they are more vulnerable. They're vulnerable to the sense that when babies get sick, the only way you know that they are sick is their expression of crying, right? And
Mhm.
their expression of showing either they're sleeping or maybe they're overactive and so forth. And because they are vulnerable, sometimes they don't express how they feel inside of them. They don't tell you that they're sick. Well, you now as a parent need to determine um, that my child is not feeling well based on what you have observed the past of a performance or activities of your child. And so that's why it's important for us as parents to ensure that you do not neglect taking care of your child's health, because you know that your child may, when they fall sick, what happened? they don't go to school. If they don't go to school, what happens? You're going to stay with them. If you don't stay with them, you send them to childcare. Then, of course, you don't want to send your child to childcare when the child is sick. So you have to
Right.
stay with the child home. So all of that is to kind of really tie you down to, it restricts you of the normal activities. That's why
Mm-hmm.
we must pay attention to our children, because they are vulnerable. And so things like the measles vaccine, the flu, you think about all of this, the RSV, even including the COVID. It's important that you take care of your child to make sure that they have the up to date vaccine records, and their vaccines are up to date with their primary health care practitioner. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we will transition into the health hazards preparedness and how we can get prepared for that. Thank you, studio. Can you take us for a break a little bit?
Broadcasting live from Philadelphia, Island Vibe, Philly's newest and hottest station.
You're listening to IslandVibes.net. All your hits banging right here. Philly #1 Caribbean station. Best in dancehall.
Undisputed champion, heavyweight, world great. At the Met Gaza celebrate.
Call the Uber now. I am coming to ya.
Reggaeton.
Algunos parecen todavía viven en el siglo de la hombría, que te arregla solo para ellos y que para tus hombres de maquilla.
Soca.
Rum in my heart, rum in my veins. I so love my rum. Bring an next bottle again. I so love my rum. Bring an next bottle again.
And more. IslandVibes.net.
Said I'm falling, I'm falling. As I lay in my bed with my head to the ceiling. Say I'm drowning alone and I'm lost in my feelings. Somebody send me a sign, cause you know that I need it. Carnival, come back to me, cause you know you're my healing. I said this soca is my therapy, my therapy. It take away all of my anxiety, my remedy. I tell you that we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love. Together say we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love. Soca make we strong up together. No place that I'd rather be. Strong up together. Right now is our energy. Strong up together. Soca is our part of it. Strong up together. I tell you so much on my mind that I can't sleep. I'm stressing all the time. I can't self-keep, cause I'm always on the grind. My body not keep up. Deep back and all of my mind all week. Take your troubles and throw them all away. Get ready to run across the stage. Get ready, give me energy, real energy. I said this soca is my therapy, my therapy. It take away all of my anxiety, my remedy. I tell you that we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love. Together say we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love. Soca make we strong up together. No place that I'd rather be. Strong up together. Right now is our energy. Strong up together. Soca is our part of it. Strong up together. Strong up together. As I lay in my bed with my head to the ceiling. Say I'm drowning alone and I'm lost in my feelings.
On. All right. Thank you for that break. Thank you wherever you are hearing us and you are joining us, whether you are joining us in your car, whether you're joining us in your room or in your living room. Wherever you are joining us, we welcome you. This is a talk show conversation with the things that concern our community. Your health is our concern, and because when all of us are healthy, we will make our community better. And that's our intent, particularly for those of us within the Southwest Philadelphia. It's our intent to ensure that the community is safe. And so in this segment now, we move on to talk about some of the health hazards. But tonight, I'm joined with the colleague, the program officer for Rising Up for Change, and my name is Daniel Lene. I am the executive director. And you can always reach out to us at info, info, at rhfc.info, info at rhfc.info. Or better still, you can reach our offices at 1628 South 58th Street, Philadelphia 19143, or 3 Chester Pike, Derby, PA 19023. All right, and welcome back again, Ms. Keve. So the question that we need to look at is, how can we then ensure that our city is prepared for the health hazards, like the natural disasters or maybe disease outbreaks? How do you think, or what do you think our city, how should we be prepared? How our communities should be prepared for health hazards of that nature, like natural disasters or maybe any disease outbreak?
We should try. One thing I'm grateful for is the availability or the easy access to information. One very important tool is to always be informed, have access to information. Like if there's going to be a severe weather, there's going to be an alarm or alert sent out, we should be able to check our forecast, be able to listen to news, and just every informative something we can get this information to be on top of our game and be aware. And also, we know this kind of state that we live in. We know the hazards that usually occur. For example, unlike places like Florida that usually have hurricanes and all of that, we don't usually have those kind of things here. But if we're going to have winter snowstorm that has happened not consistently, but it has occurred maybe a couple of years ago, and now, or not quite frequently, but frequently, these are things that we need to know that usually happen in our state and get prepared for it. So just in case this thing occur, we always set and not taken completely by surprise.
Awesome. So that means we should plan, we should kind of come together, begin planning, coordinating with our government agencies, if I'm hearing you.
Right.
Coordinating with healthcare providers to kind of say, hey, we experienced this in the past. What should we do now that we are not seeing anything of that? But in case similar thing happen, what should we begin to tell our neighbors, our community? So as community-based organization, it will be important that we begin to coordinate as team. In other words, we identify people, organizations that are that attend to emergencies, so that we can have, and that this is not only as community-based organization like ours, but everyone, you know, when these disasters have not occurred, when these outbreaks have not taken place, you know, as you drive around, you see office. Sometimes you see maybe community welfare fair is taking place, where organizations come together and they display what they are doing. It will be important you stop to some of these tables and ask them, what are you doing? Okay, so you learn what they are doing. And so when there is maybe a particular situation, it could be outbreak, it could be a community disaster that take place, right? So what happened? Once you have the contact, you know which organization is dealing with what. You are able to pass or reach out and contact. For example, Rising Up for Change, we connect you to other organizations that provide direct services. We don't provide direct healthcare product services. What we do indirect services. We pass awareness like what we're doing. And so we have the potential to be able to direct you to direct providers, right? Where you go and receive the services directly. But we are in charge to disseminate the information, to share the information as we are sharing, where you can, maybe, for example, where you go to get your vaccine. We've been sharing on this platform many areas like, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, but primarily hospitals, clinics, reaching out to your doctor, your primary care provider. These are places you can definitely go to get them, right? So
Yeah.
you need to be in the loop. You need to be aware where to go when there is certain thing that occur, like when there is a breakout, or where do you go to be able to get services. So part of that preparedness, you want to have a chart of maybe of the contact numbers, name of the organization, contact person, contact number, contact email, and just like you have Red Cross and so forth. So you need to know in the community, in your community, where do you go to when this happen? In case this happen, where do I go to get services? Who do I call to get support, to get help? So all of these, they come into play. And so it's very important to know that. I wanted to share that on that point.
Yeah, that's true. It's always good to be to have knowledge that what's going on in your community about, especially like you just stated, like these organizations, like the one that we running, like our HFC now. You need to know about these local organizations within your community and try to be a part, even if you cannot be fully a part, at least be like give some sort of support and know exactly what these organizations are, what they are about, just in case you need help, so that way you know exactly where to go. If you know a person who need help in certain things, you'll be able to direct them to this organization, because sometimes it's a little difficult to get to the direct source. But with this organization, it's easier. At least they can help to direct you or to give you direct contact.
That's right. So part of the preparedness, as we already been saying, it's important that every household should have also first aid kit, right? It's advisable, because you have kids, maybe one of them could maybe fall, scrape themselves, something that may not require maybe going to hospital, but yes, they need care. So it's important you can get a first aid kit and pull it in your home, right? It contains all the smaller stuff like Band-Aid, and so forth. So it's recommended, right? You're not required, but it's recommended that you have it into your household. If possible, have a first aid kit in your car as well. Maybe you took your children to a playground, maybe one of them got hurt, and so forth. Now spring is coming, pretty soon summer will come, and so forth. So begin to prepare in all of those so that you can avoid health hazard. But mainly, why you will need first aid kit, for example, in your household, because even maybe you are in the kitchen, you are cooking, and then you maybe unfortunately chop your finger, you slashing onion, or maybe like our community, immigrant community, we know how much we go in the kitchen using the knife rather than using other stuff and so forth. All those stuff, to avoid things like tetanus and so forth. So you want to get a first aid kit to be with you, all right? And typically considering that we experience fire. Most of our community, sometimes, a house is burning over there. So escape routes or ropes will be also ideal for you to also have in the house. Take, for example, maybe the doors are all black and you can't get out. It's possible that you can use the rope to get out of the home and be able to save your family. Quite recently, in our community, a family size of about 4 or 5 people died in the house because there was a gunshot and nobody could get in there because the government is there. The house is set ablaze and all of them died. You see?
Yeah.
So it's important that we have all of those emergency stuff in place and have them kept somewhere, that you can easily reach out to, but also thinking about communication, that's another preparedness that we need to know. It's important that in our household, we teach our people, all the family members in the home, you have a strategy of communication if something happens. Who leads the conversation? What language or what words you need to use? Where do you assemble in the house in case there's emergency? Where do you assemble in the home just to make sure that everyone is safe? What is the last word you all need to speak to leave? And to make sure that you do health count. Where do you go to do health count that everyone is correct? And so forth, so that people are not going back and forth. Let's say there's a fire in the home, right? And if it is, and there's no coordination, no planning, and then that's when most people lose their life or lost their life, right? Because nowhere to assemble when those things happen. And so people are looking for people left and right, and the smoke took over the place. And then it becomes challenging for people to find their way, and that's when they get trapped. So part of the hazard preparedness is that you need to take note into all of this. In an extreme emergency, as a household, regardless of how many people you are in, it's important that you teach your entire family, where to assemble. How do you do the head count? Who is responsible for what? All of those things. Okay, which route is a primary route to leave? And then if everyone leave, where do you go out to stay, to stand and not moving? Regardless, well, having control over the emergency, it matters, especially when it has to do with fire stuff, right? So what are the instructions? For example, are you going to take things, or you just going to fight for your life and leave everything and go? Because people want to go take their phone, they want to go take something important, they want to go take that.
Charger. People want to grab their charger.
All those things. So providing this basic education, it helps our families, it helps our community. And so that's the kind of thing, and we will be holding a special conversation on that, just to make sure with especially we are about to change season. So we want to have a special conversation, a roundtable conversation on that, just on preparedness, or things like when there's fire, how do you, prepare as a household? So hopefully in one of our meetings, one of our in-person meetings in March, and one of our Zooms meeting in March, we can throw that in to our audience, and you will be welcome to join the conversation on hazard preparedness and so forth.
Okay, so just to add, make sure your carbon dioxide detector is working in your house. Make sure your home has fire extinguishers. Practice the fire drill as often as you can, when you can, with your family, especially with your little ones. I know the schools do them too, but as a family, it's also important to do that. And like you were saying about getting your first aid kit, which is definitely a very significant part of your preparedness kit, which will include a lot of other things. I know growing up, my mom always had this small box. Whenever she sees us like looking at some kind of way, she go grab my medicine box, so you know what time it is. So just to say, stock up on medication, do not run out on medication because you never know when or what will happen at any time. And you don't want to be in a position where, especially if you have kids or any family member for that matter, is going to get sick or is going to need medical attention, and you don't have these medicine available, at least to put them under control until you can get to a hospital or emergency room.
Mm.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And quite recently, my insurance, so they sent me this. They said the future of fire safety is inside, right? So like they sent me a device, which like all homeowners have, like we should have, where I need to plug this somewhere in the house in case there is fire. This device will immediately communicate that there is fire somewhere in the house, right? Very important. Talk about preparedness, right? So like this helps you to, it brings safety, and it provides not only but it will send, I think it will send signal to the company that there is hazard, and they can communicate just in case you don't know. Then they may call you, or maybe call police, or maybe call fire service that this home is like the experiencing of fire is about to take place and so forth. Yes, so
Right.
very important. So we need to do everything we can, because the better you are prepared, the lesser you become exposed to the danger. That's important. So take all the necessary, almost like you're driving and they gave you your save and drive device to have in your car, and it conscientizes you that the insurance company is monitoring you, the way you turn, the way you apply your brakes, the way you speed, accelerate, and all of that. So it's good that when you have those things in around you, it awakens your mind, right? It awakens your mind. So, and part of that, as we always been saying, it has to do with preparedness, is that you should always ensure that you clear the pathways to in your home. Like everywhere there is a pathway, don't put things on the road. Make sure that where utilities are, keep them clear. Where outlets are, keep them clear. Let them be pure, and organize your home so that it's free of any potential disaster or any potential exposure to risks.
Right. Yep. Thank you so much for that information. A very, very important point.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate our time tonight here. We thank you for being here with us, wherever you've been joining us, wherever you'll be watching us later. We appreciate you. We appreciate your comment. If you have questions, feel free to drop their questions in the comment section. And when we return, before we return, we'll give you a response to your question. So if you need further information, feel free to always reach out to us. Again, the information to reach us is info@rhfc.info. All right. And also, if you want to reach us by phone, you can reach us by 267-969-8729. We usually do host community events, and so we do host in-person event and Zoom meetings as well, just to ensure we pass information. And so we encourage you to be a part. We will be coming with another event other events in March. And so every month we have about four events also, both by Zoom and in person. So we encourage you to be a part of that. But also, what I would say as we look forward to partying tonight is that always be ready. If you have not done your vaccine, do your best, because the vaccine helps to develop your immune system stronger against dangerous viruses or diseases. So take note of that. Yeah, any final words from you, Karen?
I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you tonight, as Pastor Daniel has just stated. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. It is our hope that we continue this conversation And we hope that this has been making impact in our community and will continue to make impact in our community. So thank you so much. Like he said, we do have Zoom meetings and in-person meetings. You can follow our Facebook page. Rising Hope for Change is on Facebook. We usually post important information. When we have this Zoom meeting, we're going to post the Zoom link. So just in case you want to join, you can just click on the link and join also. So you are welcome and have a good rest of your week.
Thank you so much. Until then, we will join you again next week on Monday, same time, same station, same place. God bless and you be safe. If you are not taking your vaccines, if you are not vaccinated your children, get them out there, see their doctor to do so. Make sure, don't forget to get first aid. Don't forget to prepare and get all the stuff that you need to get your house ready at all time for emergency situation. Thank you. Stay blessed and we love you.
Rising Hope for Change presents a community conversation on public health preparedness program hosted by Reverend Daniel H. Lindor. Open discussions and insights on heat warnings and other public health emergencies. Philadelphia Immunization Program, preparing your home for every season. Personal preparedness to stay healthy. Engaging faith-based and community organizations to consider planning for emergencies. This and more is going down and will be discussed live on Island Vibe Philly Caribbean Station, www.islandvibe.net, every Monday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.